Good morning, students. Today in the business studies we will learn about the forms of business organization, and today's form is joint stock company, or generally we know it by the name of a company. So basically the companies are of three types and the names are private company, public company, and one more form of company is there, that is one person company. So here today we will differentiate between a public company and a private company. So the basic meaning in company's law is that a company which is registered under any company law before 2013 or in 2013 registered under the company's law is known as a company. And there are various sections also, but here we will discuss their basic properties which differentiate them from each other. Earlier these two forms were popular and one person company was not there, but after 2013 one person company is there. So we will discuss it later on. So let's start with this. First of all, the companies are divided on the basis of their features. Then private company and public company. So let's start with the first point, that is number of members. Members here means the shareholders who are the owners of the company, who have invested their capital into the company. And in private company the minimum number of members is 2 and the maximum limit of members is 200. It means there must not be more than 200 shareholders. In public company the minimum number is fixed at 7 and there is no limit for maximum number of shareholders. So it is a very good option because there is no limit, so we can add as much as we can add the shareholders and we can get much more capital. Then second point, number of directors. So first of all you must know that who are directors. Directors are those persons who operate the company on behalf of shareholders and they are elected from the shareholders also. Means the elected managing committee is comprised of shareholders who have been elected to act as a director. Suppose in a company there are 100 shareholders, then some person from the shareholder will try to become a director and there is a voting process. After voting, few of them will be elected as a director and other shareholder will not work in the company. They have invested their capital and they will get their share of profit time to time when company declares. Then the main role of operating a company lies in the hand of directors, and director will then appoint the staff and organize all the things for a company. So basically directors in a private company is limited to 2 and in public company the minimum number of director is 3. And next point is invitation. Invitation here means that, as you all know, I have told you earlier, for starting a company we have to collect capital from investors. When they contribute capital in our company, then we will issue them a certificate or share certificate. That is a paper on which it is written that you are the owner of certain number of shares. So the shareholders are the real owners of the company. So in this process, first of all we have to invite the shareholder, and in a private company there is a restriction that a private company cannot invite the shareholder to subscribe the capital of the company. Then there is also a question arises that if they cannot invite, then how they will collect the capital. So for this they can collect their capital from family members or friends informally, but not inviting general public which they don't know from outside through any media like newspaper or internet or any website or radio or any other means of communication. There is a restriction on inviting public. And in a public company they can invite general public to subscribe it shares. So there is no restriction, that's why the maximum number is unlimited. Then the next point is transfer. Actually the transfer means transfer of interest, or we can say transfer of title, or in common words we can say whether the shareholder of a company are able to transfer their shares to some other members, means sell their shares. So in private company they cannot transfer their shares or sell their shares to other members, but in public company there is no restriction and we can sell our shares to anybody. As you have known about the stock exchange, the stock exchange is a place where the purchase and sale of shares, or we can say securities, is happened, or we can say the shareholder of public company can transfer their shares to other members and encash their money by the provision of a stock exchange. Stock exchange is a market for securities. So overall in private company there is a restriction on transfer of shares, but in public company there is no restriction. Then next point is name. We can easily identify any company whether it is a private company or a public company. So we have to see the suffix of the name which is written at the last of the company. In all private company it is written as private limited after the name. Suppose Amul is a company, if it is written as Amul Private Limited, then it means it is a private company. In short we can write PVT.Ltd. Private Limited can be abbreviated. And in a public company either it is written as a public limited or only limited, Ltd. So it is very easy to identify a particular company whether it is a public company or a private company by its name. If private limited is written at the end of the name, it means it is a private company, and if only limited is written after the name of company, then it means it is a public company. Then coming to next point, it is index, or we can say index of members. Index of members means details of the shareholders. In a private company, the index of member or maintaining index of member is not compulsory, means we can write the details of members or we cannot write. It is our choice. But in a public company, as the general public has invested their money and there is a large number of shareholders, so it is compulsory to maintain the index of members, because there is a public accountability for all those shareholders. It may be possible that company will take the capital from them and then make a fraud or something else, that we got in a loss and will not return the money. So it is compulsory for every company to maintain, every public company to maintain a index of members. Next point is commencing, when they will start their business. So in the next topic we will learn about various stages of formation of a company, how a company is formed, and there are 4 stages in the formation process. The first one is promotion stage, then capital subscription stage, then this process is incorporation stage, and at last commencement stage. So from these 4 stages, the private company has to perform only 3 stages in its registration, that is promotion, then incorporation and capital subscription. So a private company can start their business after incorporation. Incorporation here means registration. And a public company can start its business after getting the certificate of commencement of business. Means public company has to pass on all 4 compulsory stages, but a private company has to pass only 3 stages. So it is a benefit also for a private company. Then at last, how much capital is required for a private company and a public company? So the maximum amount is not discussed here, but the minimum limit of starting a private company is rupees 1 lakh, and in a public company is minimum 5 lakh. So that's all for private and public company. And if you have any queries, you can ask me, or we can